Well, if you or a loved one have any food allergies, a new local baker shares your struggles and is ready to tackle them one dessert at a time. WBIR 10 News reporter Shannon Smith introduces us to Knoxville's new online allergen-free and vegan bakery.
Sarah Blackburn loves her sweets.
Now I'm icing a chocolate cupcake with espresso buttercream.
But what's in or not in that cupcake will surprise you.
These are gluten, dairy, soy, egg, nuts, and corn-free.
Blackburn just launched Free Reign Bakery, an allergen-free and vegan-friendly company.
Most of my life with my dietary restrictions, I wasn't able to just go anywhere.
So she spent years perfecting recipes that she could eat.
So I just really got in the kitchen to make my own recipes.
Cupcakes, scones, donuts, cookies, brownies that are friendly to all stomachs, confusing people who hear how many ingredients are missing.
Is it made from air or what's in there?
Blackburn replaces allergens with a variety of alternatives. Instead of processed sugar, she'll use coconut sugar. Normal flour is replaced with a blend of brown rice, arrowroot, and tapioca. Free Reign Bakery launched online October 1st and has been flooded with orders ever since.
I knew people would be excited, but I just never would have imagined at this level.
Blackburn wants people to know that food allergies don't have to stop you from enjoying what you love. Shannon Smith, 10 News.
And Blackburn is looking for a permanent storefront. She hopes it will help her serve more people looking for allergy-free sweets.